Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today in this video we'll be learning about Scrapy. Scrapy is a Python framework used to scrap web pages. So trust me guys, Scrapy is very easy and after learning this you can scrap almost any website. So a quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purpose because web scrapping can be illegal if you have bad intentions, right? So without wasting much time, let's start our video. So we are on our Scrapy official site. Let's see some of its features. So as you can see, Scrapy is very fast and powerful. You just have to write a set of rules and that's it. Easily extensible and it is platform independent. Now to install Scrapy, we have to write pip install Scrapy. I assume that you have already installed Python and pip comes as it's one of its dependency. So yeah, let's go to our project directory. So we are in our project directory. So before starting any project, what we should always do is make a virtual environment. So you can create a conda environment that is nothing but anaconda environment, or you can create a Python virtual environment. So in this project, I'll be creating a new Python project or a new Python environment. So for that, I just open up my terminal in the same directory. I'll write Python. So to make a virtual environment, we have to write Python -m, that is nothing but make a virtual environment and the name of the environment you want to give. So I'll just execute it. So here you can see we have a environment ready. So what we'll do is activate this environment. So to activate it, I'm on Linux. So if you're on Mac or Linux, so what you have to write is source, the environment name, that is Scrapy. I'll just press tab to autocomplete. Then what I write is bin and then activate. So as you can see, I am on my virtual environment and it is activated. Now to work with Scrapy, we need to have Scrapy, right? So to install Scrapy, we have to write pip install Scrapy. I'll just execute it. As you can see, it is getting installed. Okay, so it is suggesting me to upgrade my pip, but I won't do it right now. So our Scrapy is installed in our environment. Now what we do is make a project. So to make a project, we have to tell Scrapy to start a project. So command for that is Scrapy. I'll tell Scrapy to start project and what should be my project name. So in this video, we'll be learning how to scrap Amazon website. So I'll write Amazon scraper. So as you can see, our project is ready and Scrapy have made some templates. Now let's see what is Scrapy suggesting us. So it is suggesting that you can start your first spider with writing cd Amazon scraper. Okay, so we'll just do it, but let us see what is a spider. So spider is a class that is responsible for defining how to follow the links through a website and extract the information from the pages. I know, right? It is a bit difficult to understand, but we'll see later in this video what is meant by spider. So what I'll do is write this, what they are saying. Let's see what we get. So I went into that directory. I'm in that Amazon scraper. So what I have to write, Scrapy gen spider, that is generate spider. What I have to give my spider name. So what I write is Amazon bot, and I'll keep example.com as same. That is nothing but its domain, and we'll later change it and we can do it easily. So as you can see, Spider have created a Amazon bot template. So let's see how does it look. So in this video, I'll be using a VS Code as a text editor. You can use any text editor you like. You can use PyCharm or Sublime. It's on you guys. So what I do is go again. I'll just write code. So in this, as you can see, we have our project and we have this project directory. Now let us understand each one by one. So this folder is nothing but for cache data. So below it we have a folder called as spiders. Let's see. So it also has a caching file. So init.py files are nothing but to show that they are a Python directory. Okay. So they are generally empty. So I'll just open it and show you guys. So as you can see, it's all empty. Now let's see what we created. We created a Amazon bot using GenSpider, right? So see, we got our template. In that template, we got our name as Amazon bot that we gave while generating a spider and start URL. So this I won't require allowed domain, so I'll just remove it. So this is how a basic template should look like. So anything related to Spider we write in this file. Okay, I'll just close it. Then we have init.py and it's also blank. So items.py, these items are used to give our data a structure, because we'll be scrapping our data from our internet and it's not that structured. So this items.py make sure that the data we get is structured or in a structured manner. So as we know guys, what are middlewares? So middlewares are nothing but how front end client or back end, how they interact with each other. So middlewares are the one responsible for that, and we'll not be looking at this file very much, to be honest. So I'll just close it for now. Now we have pipelines.py. So guys, if you want to store your data after scraping in some database, okay, we'll be using this pipelines.py for that purpose. But today in this video, what we'll be looking is, we'll extract the information from Amazon and store it in CSV. Okay, but if you want to store it in any database, feel free to do so. You just have to go to its documentation and refer the code for it. It's very easy guys, and we'll not be looking at this file very much. Now settings.py. So this is very important file because it contains our project settings. So as you can see at line number 20, it's saying that robots.txt obey. So it's saying true. So in a moment we'll understand what is robots.txt. This file is very important as it contains all the settings of a project. So guys, let us understand what is robots.txt. So after any domain, if you write robots.txt, you can see some file written. Right, so what is this file? This text file is nothing but certain rules and regulation that we need to follow while scrapping this URL. So these are the rules that our crawler should remember while scrapping. As you can see, these sites are not allowed to scrap, right? So we always need to remember what we are scrapping and what we are not. Now to make scrapping easy, there is a tool called as Selector Gadget. It's not a tool, we can say it's an extension that is there in Chrome. It's not there in Firefox, I just tried it, but it's there in Chrome. So for that we have to write, so that tool name is Selector Gadget. So this tool makes scrapping very easy. So you'll understand why we need this tool. So I'll just show when we are scrapping our Amazon site. Okay, so guys, let's start making our first scrapper. Now what you have to do is write the product you want to scrap. So right now I'll show how to scrap headphones, okay, for time being. So I'll write headphones. So we got our recommendations, right? So what is important here is this URL. This URL is very important. So what I'll do is I'll just keep headphones. See, we are getting the same response. So I want to work with this URL. So I'll just copy paste it. I'll go to my project. So as I told you guys, whatever rules that we specify or whatever URLs we want to specify, it all goes in this directory, spiders directory, and specifically in the file that we created. Okay, so the start URL I'll be giving as Amazon that we just saw. It automatically detects HTTPS, so I'll just format it to look better. Now let's see what we want to write in a sparse method. Okay, so while making a first scrapper, what I have to do is, now suppose I want to scrap all the names of the headphones that are present on this page. So what I have to write, let's see. So in this method, suppose I write name, okay, because I want name of all the headphones. So whatever response that we get while scrapping, it's stored in response variable. So I'll just write response dot. So we don't want whole response, right? So from that I want specifically the names of the headphones or the product that we gave. So let's see how we can extract it. And now here comes the importance of our selector gadget. So with the help of selector gadget, it becomes very easy to find CSS selectors. Now let's see the demonstration for it. Now suppose we want name of all the headphones. So I'll just click it on this name. Now the yellow part you can see is it's giving all the yellow part that is present. But I don't want this query or this title box. So I'll just click it. So as you can see it have turned red because I don't want it. Now I also don't want this filter by price. Okay. So as you saw slowly the yellow disappears. I even don't want this for headphones. What I have to do is just click it and it have turned red. That means I don't want it. So as you can see all this yellow that we get are our responses and it has so cleverly given us all the CSS selectors that we wanted. So what I'll do is just copy and go back to my project. Now in CSS what I'll write is the selector that we got with the help of Selector Gadget. I'll just paste it. Now we got this. Now let's see what response we get. Okay. Oh guys, let us see how you can be better with selectors. So in Scrapy there is something known as shell. So in Scrapy Shell you can try some CSS selectors and see what response that we get. So for that what we have to write Scrapy Shell and the URL you want to work with. So I'll just copy paste this URL. So we are in a interactive shell. Now let's see. So whatever we wrote here, I'll just write in that shell. It's very easy guys. Just listen it very carefully. I'll just paste it over here. Now guys, let us see this thing one more time. So what I write is whatever we got was response. Okay. So I'll write response dot css selector that we got from Selector Gadget. So I'll just paste here. Let's press enter and see what we get. So we are getting selectors, right? This all are selectors and we don't want selectors, we want a clean data. So from selectors let's get our tags. Okay, to get our tags we just write the same sentence or the same code dot extract. Okay, after writing extract, and it's a function. So as you can see we got a span tag and we don't want tags, right? So from tags we want the text inside it. So to get that we just have to write colon text. Now as you can see we got a clean data. The first headphone that we got is one audio wired. So we got a cleaned data. Now let's see in what type we got our data. So what I write is the same code. I'll surround it by type because after all it's just Python. So I'll just write type. So as you can see we got in the form of list. So let's see the length of it. That means how many data we extracted from this. So we got around 22 records. And if we go back and check, it was supposed to give 23 records. So it's fine. Now what I'll do is go back to our project and I'll just write the same thing dot extract. But from the tags that we get after writing this code, we want the text inside it. So getting the text inside it, what we write is colon text. Oops. So we just write text. Okay, we are getting our data, but we need to structure our data. So what I told you was to structure our data, we need items.py. So in items.py, as you can see, it is defined here the models for your scraped item. Now in this file, usually what we write is what all things that we scrap. So in this file, what we usually write is what all attributes that we scrap from a site. So now just to show, now what I just showed you guys was just name. So what I'll do is remove the comment from it. I'll remove the pass too. Okay. Now I'll import it here. So as you can see, items.py is one directory above. So what we write is from VS Code is suggesting us we import Amazon scraper items. Okay. Now in this function, what I'll do is make object of it. So I'll write product is equal to, I'm just making instance of it. Now what I'll do is we have to pass the value in the form of key value pairs. So we have to pass our data in the form of key value pairs. So I'll write product. So the name that we gave in items.py it was nothing but just name. So I'll write name. If I write p name here, the same changes I have to make it here. So I'll make changes here just to show, and I'll and I'll assign the value as name. Now what I'll do is, with the help of yield keyword, we'll extract our products. Okay. Now we wrote our first scrapper. Now let's see how to run a scrapper. Now to run it, what we write is Scrapy crawl. Now the name that we gave here, so it was Amazon bot, and that's it. I'll just press enter. I'll just show why we get this warnings. So it gave an error. Let's see. So I won't cut this because see, this P is capital while this P was small. Right, so what I have to make is this small. What I'll do is rerun this. So as you can see, we got our names in very good format. So first of all, congratulations for making up till here. You can see we got our data in very clean format. So guys, let us understand why we are getting these warnings. So what we usually do is, if you are doing this for the first time, you won't get any warnings from Amazon. But if you do it continuously, what happens is Amazon blocks or bans your IP for a temporary time, for short period of time. So to avoid that, what we do is send requests from multiple browsers, or we trick Amazon servers. The request is coming from multiple browsers. Now to do that, what we have to do is just install one package, and that package name is, I'll just show. Now to install that package, what we have to do is write pip install Scrapy user agents. I'll just copy it and go to my terminal and paste it over here. I'll paste it over here. So as you can see, my requirements are already satisfied. Then let's see what else we have to do. So they are suggesting that copy this. We are using this Scrapy, it is 2.5 I guess. So we are using latest version of Scrapy, so we'll use this. What we have to do is just copy it and go to our settings.py file and paste it over here. As you can see, I have already pasted it, so I won't do it again. So what this makes sure is that the request is coming from multiple browsers. It's just to trick Amazon servers. Now let us grab some more information from it. So what I'll do is get the price and reviews. So what I'll do is get price and reviews from our products. So this is nothing but my Selector gadget. I'll select on my reviews. Now I'll select the things that I don't want. So to get reviews from all our products, we got a CSS selector. What I'll do is copy this and go to my project. I'll write reviews, number of reviews sounds better. It's equal to response dot CSS. I'll just paste the CSS that we got, and from that I'll get the text and I'll extract the information from it. So whatever changes that you make here, make sure that they're also reflected in items.py. So I'll go in items.py and make another item which is product reviews, and I'll just copy the Scrapy field and make sure you make changes in a spider file. Now let's see if our selector was right or wrong. What I'll do, so start a project to tell our spider to crawl the sites. What we have to write, Scrapy crawl and your bot name, and in my case it is Amazon bot. So we made a mistake. So instead of be made, let's see what was the error. It is be reviews and not made, sorry. So as you can see, we got a number of reviews for each product, right? For every image there is some URL. We'll try to get it. So again, we make use of our CSS selector. I'll want the price. I don't want this price, and I'll use this CSS selector. And then we want image URL. So Now let's see what selector we get. We haven't got selector yet, but let's see how we can get that selector. So if we go back to our Amazon, I'll just clear it. I'll just get this and let's see what we get when we write text. So I have to make changes in my items.py too. Now we have made our changes. Or let's start our crawling. So if I just, so guys, as you can see, we are getting our image name. We got our name, price, reviews, but we are not getting our URLs. So we have went something wrong. Now let's see what was that. Now to get URLs from the image, what we have to do is get the href. So if we go and click here, inspect, let's see. So the URL is in the source format. So what we want is the attribute of this. So if I go back, instead of text, what I want is attribute of that class. So I want source as an attribute. So let's see now if we can get. Now as you can see, we are getting all the images in the form of JPEG format, JPG format. Now guys, let's see how we can scrap multiple pages of this product. So if we go back, so as you can see, we get 1, 2, 3 page numbers. This is nothing but called as pagination. So if I click any of this, so if I click 3, observe the URL. The URL have changed, and if you can see, the page number have become 3. So if I write, okay, so if I write 4, so we are on page number 4. Okay, so what we'll do is, if we want to scrap multiple pages, we have to work with this URL. So I'll copy this URL. I'll go to my, so what I'll do is, instead of this URL, I'll paste mine URL. Okay. And instead of page 4, I have to start with page 1. Okay. Now let's see what code we write for it to scrap multiple pages. So for that, I'm initializing a variable. I'll name it as count. And I'll start it from 1. After doing this, what I'll do is increment my count. So this count variable is of Amazon bot class. So Amazon bot spider class. So what I have to write, Amazon bot spider dot c. Now we can access count. So I have to increment it by 1. Now the next page would be, let's see what would be a next page. So I'll copy this URL. So guys, our next page would be 2, right? But 2 is nothing but this count variable because we have incremented it. So instead of this, what I'll write is, close this, I'll concatenate this Amazon and I'll convert it back to string, or we are typecasting it to string. Now this would be a next page. So what I'll do is only show up to 5 pages, but you can go up to hundreds of pages for scrapping. So if I'll write a if else condition, Amazon dot count is less than 6. So what I'll do if the count is less than 6, so it has very good method for that known as response dot follow. So for that, what I have to write is yield response dot follow. So it takes 2 parameters. So the first parameter is the next page that we want to go. So I'll write next page. What function that it has to follow. So it takes a callback to which method it has to follow again. So I'll write self dot pass. Now what we'll do is scrap Amazon 5 pages. So what it will do is scrap up to 5 pages. Now let's see. So as you can see, it's scrapping up to 5 pages. We are getting lots of information. Now what if you want to scrap multiple products? So it's very easy. You just specify the URL that you want to work. So if I want to scrap iPhones, okay. So I'll write iPhones. Now if I want to scrap iPhones, I'll just use this URL, or I just go back to the pagination and use this URL and paste it over here. The rules would be same, guys. So what I'll do is write page 1, and the next iPhone page, I'll write it here. Next page or next iPhone page. I'll paste the URL here too. I'll convert this count to string, and the same thing we have to do here. So yield response dot follow. It takes the next page as first parameter and call back to our pass method. So call back. Now let's see. And we have to not make any changes in our items.py because we are extracting the same information but for different product. Now guys, as you can see, we are able to extract iPhone information too, iPhone products too. If you guys want, you can specify this hundred of pages, but I won't do so because it takes some amount of time. Now, suppose you want to store this information in CSV format or JSON format, you can easily do so just by writing, let's see, just by writing Scrapy crawl your bot name hyphen o, that is nothing but output, in which format that you want to save. So let's see what all formats specifiers they have. So if I write, let's see, products dot text. I know text format is not there, but let's see what we get. So it takes JSON, CSV, XML, pickle. So what we'll do is store this in JSON format. You can store it in CSV too. So I'll store it in JSON. So if you see here in our project, we got our JSON file. So our output is ready in our JSON file. Now whatever JSON we got, so guys, what you can do is you can create a API from this or create a front-end application. So with this skill, what you can do is create your own data and you won't have to depend on other sites. So yeah, that was it for today's video. I hope you learned something new. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye.